Go.
Hi, I'm Jason Robo, and I'm a graduate of Humboldt State University in political science, and also studied economics and history. And I host a local television program started as a student radio show called Unstacking the Deck, and it airs on Access Humboldt. It's available free online at unstackingthedeck.ning.com. I was here today. I've been involved in 9/11 Truth, and was asked to host a small workshop for the Iraq War anniversary, considering that it's the basis for these unjust wars, one of many. And I wrote a short speech to read to my group, and here it is for viewers on the net. You can check out. Today across the globe, a corrupt U.S. federal government stationed troops in countries such as Iraq and Afghanistan on the basis of the government's 9/11 official story. Many people know this is an illegal war without declaration of war. No WMDs were found. The ties between Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein were found to be none, aside from the fact that they've been supplied with training and weapons by the U.S. military to achieve foreign policy objectives. There exist people such as the neocons who use fear to promote their agenda, which relied upon radical Islam as revealed in the BBC's Power of Nightmares. You can also watch that free online at Google Video. And their complicity in their aims as citizens, taxpayers, is independent on the complacency of us. So to permit the ruthless exploitation of all life by elites, they need that. And just as these wars are profit and power driven for the military-industrial complex, so are they doing that for the media and its advertisers, for the bin Laden construction group to rebuild the Middle East, and political power founded on the rotten foundation. Ancient knowledge, cultural history, and innocent people are in the crossfire, expedited into oblivion through these wars. And here at home, we have our inalienable rights in danger as supposedly being necessary to combat this war on terror, which is in reality doublespeak. And our freedoms are a terrible thing to those who would want to rule us. The economy already connotes a higher value than human life, and this kind of paradigm is flawed. And the growth of exploitation of resources is being a good thing for the economy, is not sustainable, whether it's human or otherwise other resources. Everything shouldn't be about profit and liability, and the bottom line is nothing more than a race to the bottom. Depleted uranium is a product of nuclear energy, a waste product, and they put it in munitions which vaporizes into dust and toxifies the people over there and our troops. And the horrendous mutations that are manifested in children are so horrifying that they should haunt us into action alone. And also we use white phosphorus against the Geneva Conventions, a fiery death for innocent people quite often. Now, after a Nigerian underwear bomber that was escorted on a plane by some kind of government official, we're not supposed to read books and walk through radiation at their whim.
Part 2.
So as I was saying about this Nigerian terror suspect, he was escorted on the plane, didn't have a passport. The Haskell family testified to the FBI witnessing that. And then now we're told that we're supposed to walk through radiation when we have to travel. We already have to pay theme park prices and be probed just to travel and see our loved ones and to travel the world. And as this isn't enough, and having our possessions exposed to strangers and taking our shoes off and treated like animals, now our naked bodies being photographed with this radiation and databased. All this treatment is imposed along on our personal privacy. These restrictions on freedoms and privacy, these violations come in the name of our security, paradoxically, while vermin, rats, and mold and these other type of shady, secret, shadowy organisms continue to flourish, and we have like no transparency when it comes to them, because it would obliterate them and take their power away. So using our ignorance of previous false flag events like the sinking of the Lusitania in World War I and the Gulf of Tonkin during the Vietnam War, which never happened, came out, and also World War II, Pearl Harbor has some very, very bizarre anomalies, and how vicious and horrid that attack was, and it was practically allowed. Do your own homework, don't take my word for it on any of this. Many more examples like the Reichstag fires in Germany, where Hitler was able to seize power past the Enabling Acts, not unlike the Patriot Act here in our country, which Obama just approved and extended for another year. So much for your change. He was already bombing Pakistan when he first came into office. And so this kind of a thing exposes what I would call the false left-right political paradigm. We actually did our second TV show on it, Unstacking the Deck. And we people must align ourselves with just causes, and not allow ourselves to be fooled by these illusions of hope and change and that kind of a thing. Please watch the Obama deception and Follow the Republic, free documentaries online as well for you to watch. So don't vote for change, but make it on our own, on our streets. We can give our lives value beyond the meaningless, pre-programmed, spoon-fed existence. Let's do things that matter. We must stand up for truth rather than be obedient to the lies of our slave masters that we don't often see, let alone eye to eye or know of. Resist at all costs, for the cost of complacency is far greater a threat. In Nazi Germany, those who resisted had a higher rate of survival. So don't fly if you don't want to be radiated and molested by TSA and other vermin. Spread truth. Build a solid foundation upon it, a monument, a testament that is timeless like the ancient pyramids with the wisdom built into it. We must vanquish our demons. The devil has always been a deceiver and a trickster, so we must provide a future where they have no foothold to advance into our lives. For when people get power in an already increasingly fascist environment, their abuse is prone to something called the Lucifer effect, a troubling phenomenon where people that hold ultimate power over others are able to do intolerable things, torturous and abusive things. Part 3. And back to the Lucifer effect, absolute power corrupts absolutely, from the prisons in the prison industrial complex to this planet, this construct we could call a prison planet. Countless people suffer from hopelessness at the hands of these powerful, sadistic people that manifest such behavior. The hungry, poison, poor, refugees, and occupied countries, and so on. We must not ignore the stenches of the many who have fallen throughout history. Those who are fighting for righteousness, however misinformed and manipulated they may be. Those who have laid down their lives did so for us to be here today. We must purify our minds and our bodies, turn off the television, read a book, view educational programs, discover the history and heritage of nations and people and how we've been pitted against each other by elite motivations, bankers who seek to rule us all, not as people but as dollars, yens and euros, profits and liabilities, a world that doesn't make any sense. Products and services we should boycott rather than subsidize entire industries which are counterintuitive to humanity and relying on the destruction of our health, freedom, environment, and through our blood pulses fluid like the oceans. We've survived major historic events to be here today, caught up in this mainstream, and our ancestors would no doubt want us to take a stand and to fight the tide. We are fortunate to be here and have that choice. Knowledge is power and controlling it is God. Truth is our strength, in which we can take our destiny into our own hands. We have a responsibility like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben told him in the movies and in the comic books. With great power comes great responsibility. If we try to live comfortable, isolated lives of extravagance and vanity, then the consequences will shake the earth to its very core and generate a tsunami, driven by the momentum of conscious and unconsciously contributed sweat, blood, and misery, wiping out all in its path. So we must ourselves be armed with truth and be able to protect people from these type of phenomena and not to give them any more strength. Stop being dependent upon the beast for our reality and our sustenance. Grow your own food, do your own homework, purify your body by detoxification. Discipline yourselves and meditate so that you will be a formidable threat, not a supplemental sheeple. When we are ill, then it is difficult to remain a coherent offensive group. Gluttonous, lethargic minds and bodies must be made scarce. Our hearts must be pure, and align yourselves with what is just. That will give you peace of mind and the true comfort. Long after we are gone and the traces of depleted uranium are left on this planet with the residual misery that it would inflict, our souls can rest with honor, knowing that we were part of the solution, not part of the problem. We can turn the situation around by stopping these wars and preventing them in the future, promoting equal rights and justice, holding traitorous elites accountable for their actions. Pollution shouldn't exist. With the regulation of the FDA and the EPA, we must protect life and restore our waterways strangled by industry. Part 3. So we must not only restore our waterways, but we must halt the deforestation caused by that strangulation of the water and the deforestation from the timber industry and from groups like Green Diamond locally threatening our forests here, which is headed by, I believe, Secretary General of the Bilderberg Group, the international cabal that's been running world affairs, founded by Nazi Prince Bernhard. Look that stuff up yourself. You can watch the film Endgame, also free online if you want to learn more about that. But we must stop and prevent these wars on all fronts of all forms, whether they're against our environment or against our freedoms or against against foreign people to be exploited for our own benefit, whether we directly get it or not. To unite with other groups and see that we shouldn't divide ourselves for fear of being too radical. Radical means root, as opposed to the symptomatic treatment of problems that we generally see today in society. So we must be proud to see the interwoven fabric of oppression that exists and enlist support of everyone in unraveling it. This is our duty, and we can provide our own power politically, agriculturally, electrically, monetarily, and awareness-wise in our own communities, bioregionalism. So that means that our names and money won't be going towards spilling blood and promoting misery around the globe and here in our own homes. Learn that we may be capable of waging an effective campaign against tyranny, because you have to understand your enemy in the battlefield and your allies and resources if we are to triumph over evil. Otherwise, we will fall victim to the elite secret societies like the Illuminati and Skull and Bones. Bush and Kerry were both part of Skull and Bones in 2004. Roundtable groups such as the Royal Institute of International Affairs in the UK, controlling media, education, history, and policies, with the intent to merge us into a commonwealth of nations, a one-world government, a new world order, as revealed by Carol Quigley in his book Tragedy and Hope, Bill Clinton's mentor, actually. And Quigley was part of these groups, established the CFR here in our country, Council on Foreign Relations, doing the same objective, also in other countries like Canada and New Zealand. We must learn and we will understand why things are the way they are today, why banks have us at their mercy of a slave currency that oils both sides of conflicts. And we pay the Taliban for safe passage, for example, with our money, the money they use to fight us. We must not let the elite promote further power as a solution to their generated problems, like a new Pearl Harbor that they said, as a basis for endless war. I hope that we can thwart these plots and take back some ground, and I'm honored to give my life for these ideals, and I hope that you are as well. Let's get this revolution started today. Every minute, every waking moment, promote it with our every ounce of strength that we've got, and keep it present in our thoughts, and join other groups in the community. Start to work together. Arm yourself with knowledge. Knowledge is power.
And what's that website and the name of your show?
The website of my TV show is unstackingthedeck.ning.com. That's the name, Unstacking the Deck, and it's aired here locally in Humboldt County. Once again, we're here today at Eureka Courthouse for the Iraq War anniversary. Check out my show. Watch Access.